Good to have you back. At the close of every academic session, some parents of students in primary and secondary schools send their awards to summer school camps during their long vacation. This, however, has both merits and demerits. Arise News correspondent Mary Chinda reports on summer schooling in Nigeria.
By the time we check.
Every year across Nigeria, thousands of students dressed like this graduate from one class to the other. But what is awaiting some of them many a time upon graduation is the unconventional school during holidays. It is called the summer school.
I like summer school because I like to play.
My experience in summer school, it helped me socially and some topics. I had new friends.
I don't think summer school is a waste of money for parents because when they take their children to summer school, they stand to remember the things they are being taught and they also learn new things.
Summer schools, which usually hold when schools observe the long break, is said to provide a relaxed atmosphere where students can play and learn, especially new skills in extracurricular opportunities such as swimming, cooking, ballet dance, and playing the piano.
So summer program is a program created for children that's basically centered around entertaining them, learning skills, extracurricular activities like dance, STEM, coding, music, everything away from the academic session where they're learning academics. So what's great is that your children are still having fun in a controlled environment.
For both pupils and teachers, summer school is a rewarding experience.
Having a summer class with the children has been an exciting one and very interesting one, and it's something I look up to coming every day. So it's been an interesting one. The difference between summer school and the regular school is this: the teaching is not the same method. We do different method of teaching them, a conventional method of teaching, and it's an interesting one. We also play alongside teaching. We teach them, we impart the knowledge through playing.
The beauty of this summer school is that the curriculum of learning is better than normal school because the teachers play with you as you're learning. We get to laugh with each other. It's just a better definition of school for me because I as a child, I like playing.
What I like about summer school is the teachers.
Okay. The playtime on summer school is fun, very, very, very fun.
Although summer school fees range from 15,000 naira to 60,000 naira for a number of working class parents who mostly have to be away doing their 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. jobs, summer camps are welcome during the holidays.
For a child, nothing is too much for a child. So I don't think that I'm spending too much money because their education is better than the money.
Times like this, a child needs to be molded now, not when the child grow up. Being us spending money, 3 children, bringing them now in this time for summer, yeah, is a kind of much money, but it's not.
Ebube is only 4 and he is attending this summer school.
I like summer school very much. I like this place and I made new friends.
There are some opposed to summer schools. They argue that the children should spend the holidays bonding with their parents rather than schooling. For school owners and administrators, summer school provides a reasonable alternative for idle minds.
Our program is centered around, like I said, entertainment. We're educating the children while entertaining them. So there's a lot of dance, there's music, there's STEM for the science, there's coding under ICT, there's the arts, the Eritrean School of Arts, teaching them drama, expression, speaking, power of oratory. And there's so many exciting things. And of course, we have the Little Chefs Club where they learn how to cook, fostering independence as well. There's just so many non-academic activities that go on here, swimming, sporting activities that we offer.
On the flip side, the insecurity across the country is one reason some schools would not be holding summer camps, as the government had advised school owners to shut down.
We would have loved to organize the summer school because it is where the students can learn major skills in addition to the academic point, but we are not doing that because for now there is security risk in the country, and so we don't want to risk the life of our learners.
Whether or not parents keep their children engaged in summer camps, one advice from experts is to keep them positively preoccupied. Mary Chinda, Arise News.
Interesting report. And joining us now to have a quick chat is Phrank Shaibu, who is president of Cradle to Harvard International Schools. Phrank, it's good to have you with us on the show.
Good to be here.
All right. What would you say is the major difference between conventional schooling within an academic year and, of course, summer school? You know, we live in the tropics. That's a joke, by the way.
You know, interestingly, in the regular classroom, you know, it's a straight-jacket thing, stereotyped, conservative. Of course, except for schools like what I run, you know, where we deploy learning through play, you know. And activity-based learning is the order of the day. With that, you're able to get the children's attention. And that's what sometimes you got to think about 2 years ago, I had to establish what I call a virtual reality laboratory in my school. Because I discovered that kids come to school, you know, if you want your child to read, even at home, if you want them to sleep, tell them to pick their books. But if you want them to remain awake, tell them to watch TV. A child could remain awake for 72 hours watching cartoons. You understand? So when I looked at that, we now said, okay, what do we do to get their attention? If we now discovered in school that the attention span was limited, the kids' attention span. So when if you check the kids individually and you check their attention span and you look at that and I say, okay, come on, what do we do? And I said, no, we have to establish what we call a virtual reality laboratory where the kids, we now drive learning through VR machines. And when you do well, we set what we call a milestone, and there's a reward system. You come watch a movie with the school president, you know, on the VR machine for just on the VR, Oculus Quest 2 device for just 10-15 minutes, and you're excited. You want to watch more. So based on that, we now said, okay, let's take the kids out of the regular school environment, and which is what we tested in 2021, and we had that outside our school premises. So unlike other schools where maybe it's not just about running a summer school within the school premises, no. Learning on its own should be fun. Because the kids we give birth to today are smarter than you and I. Their generation is different from our own generation. And to get anything out of it and out of them, you have to rise above the system. You know, you and I were taught, for instance, while we're in school, to raise up your hand if you know the answer to a question. Even professors use that grammatical expression. But I consider it as odious and redundant and even pleonastic to use raise and up in the same grammatical environment. But I have a 2-year-old in my school today who will tell you that it is beautiful nonsense to use raise up your hand. If I hear a teacher, from my CCTV camera, if I hear a teacher say that to my pupil, you are fired. Because if you raise your hand and you say put up your hand, if I say raise your hand, it is going up, it's not going down. So there is no difference between a teacher who will say raise up your hand and a roadside mechanic who will say reverse back. Do you understand me? So, and in fact, I was standing in one of my privileged encounters with parents in my school some time ago, and I said, look, if you visit a bank and you get, maybe your account officer tells you, please, this is how you're welcome, thank you so much, here's your ATM card, please use the ATM machine outside there to change your PIN number. Change your bank instead of changing the PIN. Because the machine, where you get this money from using your card, is an automated teller machine. You understand? So what is ATM machine? That is automated teller machine. Then PIN number, that's another one that, you know, it gives me extremely. You know, there are certain grammatical expressions and renditions that are capable of waking the dead. So, and because of that, we decided, look, we have to think outside the box. You don't just keep children at home. You understand me? So we now have to create an environment for them, because the reason is simple. You see these children, if we do not prepare them for the future, it will lead to their becoming frustrated in future. And such a situation will breed insecurity, inadequacy, coupled with lack of self-confidence, poor image perception, and an unhealthy identification. So the summer school on its own boosts their self-esteem, raises their self-esteem, because they are mixing with a different sets of kids with different beliefs, with different upbringing, and they are not being monitored as it should be. So their interaction level is very high, because they feel very free, but we still control it. You know, so like our summer camp opens from 9 a.m. till like 5 p.m. So the learning activity there within those hours is just between 9 a.m. and 11:30. They take a break and they have hard fun. We call it hard fun. They have hard fun till 5 p.m. until mommy comes. You know, so that's what we do, and it's exciting.
It really is, and you successfully entertained us as well today. But as you know, the schools were advised to close based on the insecurity, the state of insecurity in the nation. I'm wondering how you factored that into your summer school program, since it's going to be going on.
Yes, you know, what we did was simple. When we looked at the variables, particularly the FCT administration in Abuja, said, oh, schools should close. I said, okay, what do we do? The summer school has to go on. Because if we keep these kids at home, they'll become vulnerable to different vices. So we will not do that. And the learners, you see, the learner's priority is number one. To us as Schedule to Harvard, and as a teacher, a trained teacher, the learner is superior. Between you as a parent and the learner, I'll choose my learner over and over you. So what did we do? We decided, okay, let us engage the management of an organization like Transcorp Hilton. That's a 5-star hotel. Their security is top-notch. If presidents visit our country, they stay there. Governors come in there, they stay there. So so what we decided to do, no, come on, give us a hall. We got a hall that could seat about 2,000, 5,000 persons. I was okay. We now decided to, equip the premises and the hall itself, provided a conducive environment, including the air conditioners, and we set the place up. In fact, laid rocks on the floor so that in case kids fall, the bruises and all that. That took us over about 4 weeks to prepare. You understand? It was an expensive venture compared to what the token we get from them. But my joy is the fact that it's about the learner and they have to be happy. And the kids, if your eyes are fixed on the big picture, everybody says, oh, Nigeria, is it not Nigeria? No, someone can do it right. We travel all over the world. I've been to 102 nations in the world. And I have to learn something. And that's why it grieves me exceedingly when we have leaders who travel everywhere. They come back junketing from one presidential jet to the other. And when they come back, we still meet the same status quo and also could be on strike for 6 months. It's a trending. So if you travel and you see these things, why not replicate them when you get back home? And that's what we are doing. The hall in question, the arena, Transcorp Hilton, has cost as much as 12.5 million naira per day. Well, I'm using it for 4 weeks. How did we get that? No, I'm not going to pay that, but that notwithstanding, of course, there will be some concessions because it has to do with children. I told them, I had to educate them, look, you have to give something back to society. This should be your corporate social responsibility. And they agreed with me, and we paid a token. You understand? So even if the kids were subjected to paying 500,000 naira, you understand, it will take you to raise as much as 5,000 kids to be able to break even. But we are not doing it for business. Yeah. We are contributing something to society. We believe that, look, we should take these kids off the streets, we should keep these kids at home, and that's what learning should be. That's what education should be. We believe we are contributing something to society.
Very good, Phrank. Now, has summer school improved the academic proficiency of students over time? Because it's not even a new concept, depending on when they go for the studies during the holidays.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you how and why, particularly as it relates to me as an instructor or as a teacher. Let me use the regular parlance. You see, the summer school, what we do there is what we call an individualized educational plan. Now, when we admit your child in the morning, the first thing we do is the first day, we give you what we call an assessment test. So after giving the child an assessment test, we now prepare what we call a milestones record sheet. We give you what your child is expected to know at the end of every day. Now, what we educate them on is, if a child is in grade 1, we prepare the child for grade 2. So the child is confronted because we're opening a new session in September. Okay. So because we're going to a new session in September, we offer the child, we create a platform for the child where the child is trained on what is expected to know in the new class. Okay. Now, we now give you a milestones record sheet. With the milestones record sheet, we say, okay, in week 1, your child is expected to know how to write the letters of the alphabet A, B, C, D. So at the end of week 1, if we move into week 2, on your own, you don't need me. You don't need his teacher. All you need to do is, come on, hi darling, how are you? He said, fine, mommy. Mommy got ice cream for you and I got some pizza. But before I give it to you, come and write the letter of the alphabet D for mommy to see. and your child, struggles with the D, you know that, and we are in week 2. You should know that the child has not met expectation. If you notice, a majority of schools in Nigeria they have turned parents into lesson teachers at home, where you do assignments for children. But we abhor it, and I detest it most violently. No parent is allowed to assist a child in my school to do his or her homework. The reason is that homework is supposed to be a test of a child's knowledge of the previous lesson. So where your child cannot attempt his or her homework, you return it to us. It means the teacher did not do a good job. So the summer school affords us the opportunity to bring the child up to speed, because we deploy what we call differentiated learning. Every child has a special skill. You and my dear sister here do not have the same level of intelligence. But no child is dull. It is my belief. No child is a dull child. We only have slow learners. And schools were established because of slow learners. So in today's world, particularly in the educational system, you understand, one of the things I discovered as a teacher of the English language is the fact that, look, our teachers in Nigeria do not undergo any form of training. The certificates they left universities with is the same certificates they have been working with over time. I remember vividly, my father was a teacher. He taught me when I was in Form 3 in secondary school. And 9 years after I was in Lagos here, I returned home one day, we were at the dining having a meal, and I saw his lesson plans on the dining table. And I opened it and I saw so many familiar things. I said, Daddy, what's happening here? I remember you gave me this type of notes when I was in Form 3. He said, nothing has changed, everything has changed, sir. May so rest in peace. I sent him straight back to the University of Jos for a master's degree. Because God had blessed me and I could afford to sponsor my father. Because, you see, if you don't do that, you now continue to have teachers who will now continue to churn out, those archaic and stereotype things they had learned over time in the university. They don't know that things have changed. I'll give you a classical example. The English language, for instance, is a living subject.
But is it a problem of the teachers or the school itself, the institution?
It is not the school, it is our educational system.
Yes, so the entire system.
It's the entire system. You see, you cannot give what you don't have. Okay. The leadership of the country, if an institution where the man who leads us, God forbid, is unlettered and not certificated, you don't expect him to give you something better. So the issue is about the system. I'll give you another example. In 2014, for instance, we reviewed our curriculum in Nigeria to a 934 system of education. Before then, there was a 6334 system of education. This government came into power in 2015. Till today, we don't even know the system of education they are running, because it is a confused setting. So the teachers hardly go for refresher courses. So you still find a teacher today who will tell you, in fact, when I listen to some of them, in the last convention they had this year, both parties, you will hear their chairman of their parties telling us, oh, please, all party delegates should converge at Eagle Square. It's marks of wretched illiteracy for a leader to say party delegates should converge at Eagle Square. The word converge obligatorily admits the proposition on and not at. And even journalists, let me tell you something, even my colleagues, some of us, you understand? We use that recklessly, forgetting that the children and other people out there who listen to us believe that anything that comes from us is correct. And in that mistaken belief, they follow bad examples. So that is the need. We use it in a station like Arise TV. You guys are doing a great job. And I want you to be at the, you have to be at the forefront.
We're doing a great job, but
you have to be at the forefront.
Let's talk about affordability.
Yes, go ahead.
Let's talk about affordability and keep it all the way as realistic as possible. Affordability is something you've mentioned time and time again during this interview. Of course, you said your
summer camp.
I'm talking about affordability of you talked about being able to send your father to get his master's and whatnot. Now, for those who might not be able to afford to send their children to summer school because they just can't, it's the reality, it's their reality. How do they keep their children engaged and ensure that they might have a semblance of the experience that you will be providing for the children whose parents can afford this?
Fantastic. We run an online school, an online summer school at Cradle to Harvard. The physical summer school, for instance, I think we charge them a paltry 60,000 naira for a period of 4 weeks at Transcorp Hilton. A room in Transcorp Hilton is more than 150,000 naira. So you should know what I mean by affordability. Now, for those who can still not afford that 60,000 naira, we offer them a free program using our G Suite educational platform, which is our online gateway for the children. So we have teachers designed to run classes for the children at least for 3 hours every day. The only thing the kids will miss is the fact that they cannot have fun and they don't have physical contact, because our summer school, we admit kids from other schools. You understand? It's open to all. It's not just restricted to our own children. You know, so they cannot interact with the children. So the idea of blending, the idea of learning new things, the idea of association, the idea of interaction, you know, it wouldn't be there. That's what they will miss. But what we do traditionally to make up for them is that if school resumes maybe in a week's time, we have what we call a pre-resumption week at Credit to Harvard, where we bring all the kids to school to have fun, mad fun. Mad fun, mad here is in quotes. Mad fun so that so that we can reset their brain. You know, having stayed at home for a long time playing, if you don't bring them to school and introduce them back to school using fun and play activity, it will be difficult for them. For the little ones, for instance, when you bring them, you have to manage them throwing tantrums for the next 1 to 2 weeks before they can settle in class. It's just like a small baby who is sucking. If you remove the mouth from the breast, it will take, even if you place the breast back in his mouth, it will still continue to throw tantrums uncontrollably for the next 20 minutes.
I align with the tantrums and the fun aspects of the school. Phrank, Shaibu, President Cradle to Harvard School, many thanks for your thoughts on this. It's good to have you.
My pleasure. I'm excited to be here, and I'd like to make a return someday.
Indeed, you will.
Thank you.